Hello, all my followers. Before I before I post here a lot of concert videos, but now here in Tromsø is so bad concerts that there is nothing for me to, especially not any metal concerts at all. But now I was thinking just to explain about my top 5 bands of my 25 anniversary of listen metal music. I mean, I have listened metal music since 1998, so can't believe how many years I actually have listened these. And the number one band for me is the Iron Maiden. What is the first metal band I actually started to listen in 98. And since then, back then it was my number one band, and still after 25 years it's the same. So first I started in 98 to buy best of album of Iron Maiden, and then in the year 2000 I finally became the bigger fan even than when I really became a big fan. That was the time when was released the Brave New World album, what is always gonna be my number one album, even still I'm think like that after 25 years. And also the members of Iron Maiden haven't changed at all in the last 25 years. They have also remained exactly same. So let me tell that after Brave New World, my other favorite albums are like 1983, the year when I born, that album, Peace of Mind. And of course the year before when came that album, the Number of the Beast, of course. And then also my favorite albums are like Power Slave, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, Somewhere in Time, and then after Brave New World, those I like a lot of Dance of Death and A Mother of Life and Death albums. Of course, in the 2000, Iron Maiden style was different than back in 80s, but I actually like both eras as much as so. But I also like some of the songs with those they made with those other singers, Paul Di'Anno and Blades Bailey. But for me, the Bruce Dickinson is the best singer of Iron Maiden ever had. So it was good thing that when he left the band around 92 or 93 and came back in 99, I was so happy. And And after the 80s, now in 2000, in the last 23 years, they have also make a great era. Not the same than back in 80s, but anyway, it's also a good era. Like, and even the latest two albums, Book of Souls, and Zenitsu. There is some good songs, but the biggest problem is that some of them are very long, like 13 to 18 minutes, especially Empire of the Clouds. And but of course those albums also had good songs, but for me the best albums in 2000, the last 23 years, are those Brave New World, Dance of Death, and The Mother of Life and Death. But that's only my opinion. But if I think the very best, like 3 best albums of Iron Maiden, for me it would be Power Slave, Brave New World, and Number of the Beast. So let's go to the. Oh, wait a second. Let me still tell you that I have seen Iron Maiden 5 times in concerts in Helsinki, Finland. 3 times in a ice hockey hall, and 2 times in a Olympic Stadium where 30,000 people. So I saw it 5 times in a between 2003 and 2013. So for 10 years I haven't seen Iron Maiden. But probably never gonna see again because they start to getting so old. So it's not no point to pay a lot of money to see the old men still try to play as before. So because as you know, the Iron Maiden is now like a 47 years old band. That's crazy how long they have doing that. It's still not stopping. But anyway, Iron Maiden will probably stay my number 1 band rest of my life. Only miracle can change that. So my number 2 band is the Judas Priest. But through the years it was always that I was always had that problem a little bit to decide if the Iron Maiden is the number 1 or Judas Priest. But that band is now like 54 years old. And Judas Priest I saw concert first time 2005 with the Swedish death metal band in flames in the ice hockey hall in Oulu, Finland. And then 3 years later, I saw them in Helsinki ice hockey hall. It's called Hartwall Arena. When they was with their new album Nostradamus. And then the third and the last time I saw them, 2015, just before I moved to Norway. So I'm sure that was the last time I see them in alive. But it was great. So my favorite albums are Sad Wings of Destiny, Killing Machine, British Steel, where from that album I especially have to mention their biggest song, Breaking the Law, the only song I can sing without see any words. And then let's continue with Screaming for Vengeance and a Painkiller and a Demolition. But this was actually the album when I really get started. When it was that other singer, Tim Owens, the Reaper. But even when people say that Tim Owens was nothing like Rob Halford, still I like that album because it was the first where I really started. And then when the Rob Halford came back to band, the new album Angel of Retribution was very good return album, what I like a lot. And then I also like that special album about the Nostradamus. And of course the latest album, Firepower, was very good. It was like a little bit like Painkiller 2, but it cannot be better than Painkiller. Never. But it's so this band gonna be my number 2 probably always. So because now it's finally decided that Iron Maiden is number 1 and Judas Priest is number 2. And that will never change. That's how I say now. But then band number 3 was my, when I really get into that progressive metal, and that band is the Dream Theater. And luckily I got to see them live concert back in 2014 in Helsinki, where they played 2 hours. I mean 3 hours. So it was so great. And then I heard that the next year when I they was play here in Tromsø just like 1.5 months before I moved here, but I heard that it was like bad weather and only 1 hour set. So my only memory is that concert 9 years ago. So, but for me, I find the band in 2001 when I first bought one of their album called the Metropolis Part 2. Scenes from my memory. What is still my favorite album even today. So from this band I actually have a very many favorite albums because it's the second album, Images and Words, Awake, Metropolis Part 2, Scenes from a Memory, 6 Degrees in Inner Turbulence, Train of Thought, Octavarium, Systematic Chaos, Black Clouds and Silver Linings, and then that album with their new drummer, A Dramatic Turn of Events. But the name was probably something to do with changing their drummer to other. So, and then that 2013 album with the band name Dream Theater. Then The Distance Over Time, and the finally that last year 2022 album, A View from the Top of the World. So I have little too many favorites from these bands, but most of the albums sounds very same, and I just like them so much. So it's very much this band deserved to third place on my top 5. And they are from America. When Iron Maiden, Judas Priest was from Great Britain. Or are from. Still. So as I remember, Dream Theater is been active like 34 years also. That's a long time. Then let's go to number 4 band. It's Metallica. Of course, I knew the Metallica already back then in 90s. Especially those songs like Enter Sandman and Nothing Else Matters. Or Whiskey in a Jar, or those songs. And mostly my favorite albums from Metallica goes like easily for their like their 5 first albums. I mean, Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Justice for All, Black Album, and then that 15 years ago, that 2008 album, Dead Magnetic. Those albums after that are not my especially favorite. Or that one album they have made after that. But I really don't know how the next album gonna be, but hopefully it's a little more interesting. But if I have to choose the best of these, it's probably be the need to choose. It's very hard to choose between Master of Puppets and the Black Album. But those most of those 90s Metallica albums I don't like. Of course, every of those albums have some good songs, but not. I can't say them my favorite albums. Like that 2003, the As the Anger. Everyone hate that album, but I actually like it some way. But anyway, the best albums are those their 5 first albums, and then that Dead Magnetic. So in the first concert I saw them on Olympic Stadium in 2007, and the second time was, that was in Helsinki, and the second time was 2009 in Sonny's Prayer. That was some kind of festival in the city of Pori in Finland. And that was special for me, because special memory, because there I also got to see before them that Linkin Park, what was very popular back then, and still is even after the singer was dead. But that really was my only chance to see that band, so it was good that I had that chance. And of course the Metallicas from America, as most of you know. Everyone know that, but anyway. So after this top 4, there haven't been any band from my own country, Finland, what is the really metal band country. Many people think that, I'm sure. So number 5 gonna be the Finnish power metal band Stratovarius. There is no doubt of that. Sadly, I cannot give that place for Nightwish, but probably 10 years I would put it Nightwish instead, or Sonata Arctica, but I decided the 5th place goes to Stratovarius now. So, and the band I saw concert first time like 2006, and the last time was 2015 before I moved to Norway, in a Tuska metal festival in Helsinki, and mostly it was very big disappointment for me when the original founder member of band Timo Tolkki left the band, because he was the great guitarist and the mastermind behind the band, and then they waste his departure and he never came back. But that meant a new era from the band, and even the sound of band was a little different than before, but they kept the same singer, so it was good thing. So my favorite albums are Episodes, Visions, Destiny, Infinity, Intermission, Elements Part 1 and 2, Stratovarius, Polaris, Eternal, and the latest Survive album. But of course I love most of the songs from those old albums, like Episodes, Visions, Destiny, Infinity. There is a great songs there. But back when I started to listen band, it was around 97, 98, 99, something there. Around there. I don't remember exactly, but first I bought the albums Infinity, what is still a very great album for me, probably the best. And then Intermission, what was including also some cover songs from, example, Judas Priest. And then of course the Elements parts 1 and 2. But the Stratovarius with the same name, that album was the last when the Timo Tolkki left the band. But then after that, I haven't liked so much the albums, but the latest Survive from last year is, I can include that one of my favorite albums in this era of the band. So that's my top 5 metal bands. And obviously any bands with woman singer didn't get in my top 5. But it's not mean that there is not any in the top 10. But even I would like to make a longer list, but I'm gonna stay in this top 5. I'm not telling more. So that's all. So once more, my top 5 bands are Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Dream Theater, Metallica, Stratovarius. That's it. Stay in metal. Then after 25 years, still stay in metal. And keep on going.